In a small, crowded town, life was never easy for little Amina. She was just a poor girl of 7, living with her mother in a tiny, worn-out house near the busy market. Every day, Amina would go to the market to look for small jobs or sometimes just to find something to eat. Today was no different. Her stomach was empty and she hoped she could find a piece of bread or maybe some fruits to eat. The market was noisy and full of people. Some were busy buying expensive clothes, others were shouting to sell their goods. But Amina's eyes were not on the shiny shops or colorful clothes. She was looking down at the ground, hoping to find something forgotten or dropped. As she walked, carefully between the legs of the rushing crowd, something shiny caught her eye. There, on the dusty ground, lay a small card that was sparkling in the sunlight. It was not like the usual plastic cards she had seen in shops. This card looked special. It had a smooth, shiny surface and strange golden letters on it. Amina picked it up and held it in her small hands. She turned the card this way and that way. The card said unlimited credit and had a name printed on it, Mr. Hassan Malik. Amina did not know who this person was, but the card looked very important. Her heart started beating faster. She thought, this must be a card of some very rich man. She had heard stories from the market sellers about billionaires who could buy anything in the world. But how could a little poor girl like her have this card? Amina's mind was full of questions. She thought about keeping the card. After all, she could buy food or clothes with it. But something inside her whispered, this is not yours. You should return it. Her mother had always taught her to be honest, no matter how hard life was. If you find something lost, return it, her mother used to say softly. So Amina decided she would find the owner and give it back. But the market was no easy place for a small girl with a card like this. People around her started to notice. Some stopped and looked at her with strange eyes. A few whispered to each other, and some stared with suspicion. Amina could feel their eyes on her. Was she trying to steal something? Was she lying? She felt a little scared but didn't want to lose hope. She kept walking, clutching the card tightly in her hand. Her tiny feet moved fast as she tried to find someone who could help her. She looked around for any clue about the owner or a place she could take the card. Suddenly, a man in a fancy suit stopped her. His face was stern. Hey, little girl, where did you get that card? He asked sharply. Amina swallowed her fear but answered honestly. I found it on the ground. The man's eyes looked hard, but then he softened. This card belongs to a very important man, he said quietly. You must be careful. Not everyone will believe you want to return it. Amina nodded, though she felt even more nervous now. She knew returning the card would be difficult. She wondered if the rich man would believe a poor girl like her or if he would think she was a thief. She continued her way through the busy streets. People kept watching her, some stepping aside, others murmuring. Amina tried to ignore them and focused on one thought. She had to do the right thing. As she passed a small tea shop, a kind lady called out, Where are you going with that card, dear? Amina stopped and looked at the lady with hopeful eyes. I want to find the owner and give it back, she said simply. The lady smiled warmly and said, That is a brave and honest thing to do. I will help you. She gave Amina a little bottle of water and some biscuits. You will need your strength. Amina thanked her quietly and felt a small light inside her heart. She wasn't alone. But as she moved forward, a group of boys saw the card and started laughing. Why are you carrying that shiny card? Are you pretending to be rich? They mocked her loudly. Amina's cheeks turned red. She felt embarrassed, but did not stop. She walked faster, tears threatening to fall from her eyes. Her heart was heavy, but her will was stronger. She remembered her mother's words again. Honesty and courage will lead you to light. So she wiped her tears and kept going. The sun was starting to set, and the busy market was slowly quieting down. Amina's legs were tired, but she was close to the part of town where she had heard rich people lived. She looked at the card again and whispered, I will find you, Mr. Hassan Malik, and give your card back. I promise. At that moment, a tall, Black car stopped nearby and two men in suits stepped out. They looked around, talking into their radios. Amina's heart skipped a beat. Could this be connected to the card? She hid behind a wall and watched silently, hoping to see something that would tell her where to go next. Her mind was racing, full of hope and fear. Would she be able to return the card? Would the rich man believe her? Or would the world be too hard for a small girl with a big heart? The chapter ended with Amina standing alone in the fading light, holding the card tightly, ready to face whatever came next. Amina stayed hidden behind the wall, watching the two men in suits. They were talking quietly but with serious faces. One of them held a phone and spoke quickly. Amina did not understand everything, but she heard the name Hassan Malik again. Her heart beat faster. This must be the billionaire who owned the card. She thought, maybe if I can find Mr. Malik, I can give him the card, and everything will be all right. But how could a little girl like her meet such an important man? The two men left, getting back into their black car, and drove away quickly. Amina waited for a moment, then decided she had to follow them. She had no idea where they were going, but she knew it was important. She walked carefully through narrow streets and alleys, always looking behind her to make sure no one was following. The market was now empty, and the night was starting to fall. Her small feet were tired and her hands held the card tightly. She felt cold but kept going. She told herself, I must be brave. This card belongs to someone very special, and I have to give it back. After some time, Amina reached a tall, beautiful building. It was shining with bright lights, and expensive cars were parked outside. She could hear soft music and see people dressed in fancy clothes going inside. Amina stood quietly near the gate. She looked at the card again and whispered, This is where Mr. Hassan Malik lives. I must find a way to meet him. Suddenly, a guard walked over to her. His face looked kind but serious. Little girl, what are you doing here so late? Amina felt nervous but answered honestly. Sir, I found this card in the market. It belongs to Mr. Hassan Malik. I want to return it to him. The guard looked surprised. Mr. Malik, that is a very important man. How did you get this card? I found it on the ground, she said simply. I want to give it back. The guard thought for a moment, then smiled softly. You are a brave and honest girl. Come with me. I will take you to Mr. Malik. Amina's eyes widened with hope and excitement. She followed the guard inside the building, her heart full of mixed feelings, hope, fear, and curiosity. They walked through big halls with shiny floors and beautiful paintings. People passed by and looked at Amina, some with surprise, some with kindness. Finally, they reached a large room where a man was sitting behind a big desk. He looked tired but kind. His hair was gray and his eyes were gentle. Amina knew this must be Mr. Hassan Malik. The guard spoke to him. Sir, this little girl found your credit card in the market and brought it here. She wants to return it. Mr. Malik looked at Amina and smiled softly. Is that true, little one? Amina nodded shyly and held out the card. Yes, sir. I found this and wanted to give it back. Mr. Malik took the card and looked at it carefully. Then he looked at Amina and said, Thank you, Amina. You have done a very honest thing today. Amina felt her face turn red. She was proud but still nervous. Why did you lose your card, sir? Mr. Malik smiled sadly. I don't know. Sometimes even billionaires lose things. But I am very glad you found it. Amina looked up at him. Can I ask you something? Of course, he said kindly. Amina took a deep breath and said quietly, I am very poor. Sometimes I don't have food to eat. Can you help me? Mr. Malik looked surprised. Then his eyes softened. Thank you for trusting me with your wish, Amina. I will do everything I can to help you. Amina's eyes filled with tears of happiness. She had never expected such kindness, but just as she was about to say something else, the door suddenly opened and a loud voice called out, Mr. Malik, we have a problem! Everyone turned to see a man running into the room. His face was worried. Mr. Malik stood up quickly. What is it? The man said. There is a rumor in the market that The card was stolen by a thief. People are angry and looking for the girl who has it. Amina's heart stopped. She looked down, afraid. Mr. Malik smiled and said firmly, "No one will harm this brave girl. We will handle this." He turned to Amina and said, "You have been very honest. Do not worry." Amina nodded, but inside she was scared. She didn't know what would happen next. The man continued, "We need to find the real thief quickly before things get worse." Mr. Malik looked serious. "Then we must act fast." The room was full of tension now. Amina watched carefully, wondering what was going to happen. Her simple wish had brought her into a strange new world, a world of rich people, secrets, and danger. Would she be safe? Would she get help? Or would the market become a place of trouble for her? The story ended this part with the question hanging in the air. After hearing the news about the card, Amina felt a chill run down her spine. People in the market were angry, and rumors were spreading fast. Some thought the card was stolen, and others whispered about a thief on the loose. Amina knew she was innocent, but she was scared. Mr. Malik stood by her side. He looked calm but serious. "Amina, don't worry. I will protect you. We will find the real thief together." The guard nodded and said, "We will start searching immediately. No one will hurt you." Amina felt a little safer but still nervous. She didn't want to go back to the crowded market yet. Meanwhile, outside the tall building, news had already reached the market. People were gathering, talking loudly, and looking for the girl with the card. In the busy streets, Amina's friend, a kind boy named Omar, was also worried. He had seen the rumors and was scared for Amina. Omar decided to find her and help. Back in the building, Mr. Malik called his team. They began to check every place where the card could have been lost or stolen. They looked through shops, market stalls, and even the trash bins nearby. Amina watched closely as the adults talked on their phones and checked cameras. She learned that in this rich world, cameras were everywhere. They could see everything. Suddenly, one of the men called out, "Look here! The security camera caught something." Everyone gathered around the screen. The camera showed a shadowy figure picking up the card from the ground and quickly hiding it in their pocket. Amina's heart jumped. That was the moment she found the card. But the figure's face was hidden by a hood. Mr. Malik said, "We must find this person." Amina was honest, but someone tried to make her look like a thief. Amina wanted to help. "I want to find the person too," she said quietly. Mr. Malik smiled and said, "You are very brave, Amina. We will do it together." Outside, Omar had finally found Amina's house. He called her name softly. "Amina, are you safe?" Amina's mother opened the door and smiled, relieved. "Omar, thank you for coming." Amina stepped outside, holding the card tightly. "Omar, I have to go back to the market and clear my name. People think I am a thief." Omar looked worried but nodded. "I will go with you. We will prove your innocence." Together, Amina and Omar walked slowly toward the busy market. They could hear whispers and see suspicious looks from some people. Amina felt her hands shake, but Omar held her arm and said, "Don't worry, we will find the truth." As they reached the place where she found the card, a group of people blocked their way. One angry man shouted, "You took the card. Give it back." Amina's voice trembled. "No, I found it on the ground. I wanted to return it." The crowd murmured, not sure whom to believe. Suddenly, a woman stepped forward. She was a kind-looking shopkeeper. "I saw this girl yesterday. She didn't steal anything. Please listen to her." The crowd grew quiet. Amina felt a small hope. Just then, a man in a black jacket appeared. He looked around nervously and moved toward the alley. Omar whispered, "Look, that person matches the camera's shadow." Amina took a deep breath. "We have to follow him." They quietly followed the man, their hearts pounding. The man stopped near an old building and looked around. Then he pulled out the credit card and handed it to another man. Amina and Omar watched in shock. The men were planning something bad. Omar whispered, "They were the real thieves, trying to blame you." Amina felt scared, but knew she had to be. Brave, she whispered. We must tell Mr. Malik. This will prove I am honest. Just then, the men noticed them and started running. Amina and Omar ran too, trying to catch them. The chase was fast and dangerous. People stopped and stared. Amina's small feet moved as fast as they could. Finally, she shouted, "Stop! We have proof you are thieves!" The men stopped, scared. Omar quickly called the guard from Mr. Malik's team. Within minutes, the guards arrived and caught the thieves. Amina and Omar felt relief. The truth was coming out. Back at the building, Mr. Malik smiled proudly. You did very well, Amina. Amina looked at him, happy and tired. She said softly, "Thank you for believing in me." Mr. Malik nodded. Honesty and courage will always win. But Amina knew this was just the beginning of a new journey. What would happen next? Would she get help for her family? And how would her life change after this? The story paused with these questions waiting for the next chapter. After the thieves were caught, the market slowly returned to its usual noise and bustle. But Amina's heart still felt heavy. She had done the right thing, but what would happen next? Would her life really change? Mr. Malik called Amina to his big office in the tall building. The room was full of shiny furniture and bright lights. Amina felt a little nervous. She had never been inside such a place before. Mr. Malik sat behind a large desk and smiled kindly. Amina, you have been very brave. You returned my lost credit card, and you helped catch the real thieves. I want to thank you. Amina looked down shyly. I just did what I thought was right. Mr. Malik nodded. That is why I respect you. Honesty is rare these days. He reached into his drawer and pulled out a small box. Inside was a golden necklace with a tiny star pendant. This is for you, Amina, a gift from me. Amina's eyes widened. She had never seen anything so beautiful. Thank you, sir, she whispered, her voice trembling. Mr. Malik's phone suddenly rang. He looked at the screen and frowned. Excuse me, I have to take this. He left the room, leaving Amina alone, with her thoughts. She looked around and wondered how different her life could be. Could she really leave the poor market and her small house behind? Just then the door opened and Mr. Malik came back with his assistant. I want to ask you something, Amina, Mr. Malik said. I want to help your family. Would you like to live in a better place, go to a good school, have food every day? Amina's heart beat fast. She wanted to say yes, but something inside her stopped her. She looked at Mr. Malik and said quietly, I want to help my family, but I do not want to leave my home and friends. Can I do both? Mr. Malik smiled. Yes, you can. I will make sure you get the best of both worlds. The assistant handed Amina a small card. This card will give you access to help whenever you need it. Amina held the card tightly, feeling hope grow inside her. Suddenly, the assistant looked worried. Mr. Malik, there is something you should know. Mr. Malik's face grew serious. What is it? The assistant explained that the thieves had been part of a bigger plan to steal from Mr. Malik's company. The credit card was just a small part of it. Amina felt a shiver. She had helped stop something much bigger than she thought. Mr. Malik looked at her with new respect. Amina, you are very special. I want you to stay safe. Can you promise me that? Amina nodded. I promise. Outside the window, the sun began to set, painting the sky with orange and pink. Amina thought about her family, her home, and her new life. So many changes were coming, but she was ready. The story paused here with Amina standing at the edge of a new beginning, full of hope and courage. What would happen next? Would she keep her promise? How would her family react to this new chance? The answers would come in the next part of the story. The next morning, Amina woke up early. The golden star necklace was shining on her small table. She touched it carefully. It felt like a promise of change. Her mother was already busy cooking breakfast. Amina's little brother was playing quietly in the corner. She didn't know how to tell them about Mr. Malik's offer. How would they react? Would they believe her? At breakfast, Amina finally said, Mother, something big happened. I met a rich man, Mr. Malik. He wants to help us. Her mother looked surprised but smiled. That is good news, Beta. But how will he help? Amina explained everything. The lost card, the thieves, the necklace, and the card Mr. Malik gave. Her mother's eyes filled with tears. This is a blessing from God, she said softly. We must be careful but also thankful. That day, Mr. Malik's assistant came to their small home with more gifts, food, clothes, and books. Amina's little brother's eyes lit up at the new toys. Her mother hugged Amina tightly. The whole family felt hope for the first time in a long while, but not everyone in the village was happy. Some people whispered, "Why is Mr. Malik helping a poor girl? What does he want from her?" Amina heard these words and felt pain. She didn't understand why some people were jealous. Mr. Malik noticed this too. He called Amina one afternoon and said, "You must be strong. Not everyone will like your new life." Amina nodded. "I will try." Soon Amina started going to a new school. It was big and bright, very different from her old market. She was shy at first. The other children wore nice clothes and spoke in a different way. Amina missed her friends but knew she had to work hard. One day a girl in her class asked, "Why are you here? You don't look like us." Amina felt hurt but replied quietly, "Because I want to learn and be better." Slowly, some children started to accept her. They saw her kindness and courage. But Amina's biggest challenge was yet to come. One evening, she received a call from Mr. Malik. "Amina, something important is happening. I want you to come to my office tomorrow." Amina felt nervous. What could it be? The story left here in a moment of suspense. What did Mr. Malik want to tell her? Was it good news or bad? The next morning, Amina woke up early. Her heart was beating fast. What could Mr. Malik want to tell her? She felt nervous and excited at the same time. She put on her best clothes, a simple dress but clean and neat. Her mother smiled and said, "You look beautiful, Beta. Be confident." Amina took a deep breath and left for Mr. Malik's office. It was in a tall building, shining with glass windows that touched the sky. It was very different from her small home and the market where she used to roam. When she entered, a friendly assistant greeted her and took her to a large room. There, sitting behind a big desk, was Mr. Malik. He smiled warmly. "Amina, I'm glad you came," he said. "I have been watching you. You are honest, brave, and kind. These are rare qualities." Amina felt shy but nodded. Mr. Malik continued, "I want to offer you something very special. I want to support your education, all the way to college and beyond. I will pay for your school, your books, your needs. You don't have to worry about money anymore." Amina's eyes grew wide. She wanted to speak, but no words came out. This was more than she dreamed. Mr. Malik smiled again and said, "But this comes with a promise. You must work hard, stay honest, and never forget where you came from." Amina's voice was soft but sure. "I promise, sir." Just then the door opened, and Mr. Malik's wife walked in. She smiled at Amina and said, "We are a family here. If you need help, we are here for you." Amina felt tears in her eyes. She never imagined that a rich man and his family would care for her like this. Over the next few weeks, Amina's life began to change. She had new books, new clothes, and even a small computer for her studies. Her teachers noticed her efforts and praised her. She worked hard every day, remembering her promise. But the biggest test was yet to come. One day, a letter arrived from the city school board. It said that Amina was selected for a special scholarship, a chance to study in the city's best school. Her family was overjoyed. This was a dream come true. But the school was far away, and it meant Amina had to leave her home, her mother, and little brother. That night, Amina sat outside her house, looking at the stars. She felt torn. She wanted to make her family proud, but she was scared to leave. Mr. Malik's words echoed in her mind. "Be brave, Amina." With a deep breath, she decided to accept the scholarship. The next morning, she packed her small bag. Her mother hugged her tightly, whispering, "Be strong, my daughter." Amina looked back once, tears in her eyes, and then stepped onto the bus that would take her to a new life. As the bus moved away, Amina's heart was full of hope, but also fear. Would she succeed? Would she find friends? Would she make her promise come true? The story pauses here, leaving a question in the air. What will happen to Amina in the city school? Will she be able to face new challenges? The next part will answer these questions. Amina's bus arrived at the big city school early in the morning. The tall buildings and busy streets made her feel small and nervous. She held her bag tightly and took a deep breath. As she walked through the school gates, she saw many students talking, laughing, and walking around. Everything was new to her. In the classroom, Amina sat quietly, listening carefully to the teacher. She wanted to learn everything, but sometimes she felt lonely. Days passed and Amina worked hard. She studied during breaks and stayed after school to finish her homework. She remembered Mr. Malik's words, "Work hard and be honest." Some students noticed her efforts. A few smiled and said hello. Slowly, Amina began making friends. One afternoon, while studying in the library, a girl named Sarah came to her. "You're really smart," Sarah said. "Would you like to join our study group?" Amina nodded happily. For the first time, she felt she belonged. At home, her mother and little brother called every day. They told her stories and reminded her to stay strong. Back at school, Amina's teachers saw her progress and praised her. She was chosen to represent the school in a citywide competition. The day of the competition arrived. Amina felt nervous, but confident. She thought about her family, Mr. Malik, and all the people who believed in her. She gave her best, answering questions with courage and knowledge. When the results came, Amina was the winner. The crowd cheered for her, and her heart filled with joy. Mr. Malik came to the school to congratulate her. "You kept your promise, Amina. You are a true inspiration." Amina smiled and said, "Thank you, sir. Without your help, this would not be possible." The story ends with Amina looking at the future with hope. She dreamed of becoming a doctor one day to help people like her, from a little beggar girl who found a lost card to a bright young student with a new life. Amina's journey was just beginning. She learned that honesty, courage, and kindness can change life forever.